Hello and welcome to day 8, balance. Starting out in child's pose, releasing your forehead down to the mat, finding your breath, and then making your way onto all fours, coming into a few cat-cows. Let's set an intention. Create space by letting go of anything that you no longer need, any negative thoughts or emotions. Warming up your core, inhale as you arch and exhale as you round your back. And coming into extended child's pose. And making your way into your first downward facing dog. Pedaling those feet. Lifting that right leg up into three-legged dog as long as it feels okay. Then bending your knee and opening up that hip. And then stepping forward into a lizard pose, stepping on the outside of your right hand, releasing that left knee down. If you wanted to come into a twisted lizard, you could lift the bottom of your foot, release your knee out to the side a little bit, grabbing onto your thigh and looking over your right shoulder. Then coming back center and stepping back into your downward facing dog. Lifting that left leg into three-legged dog. Bending your knee and opening up that hip. Keeping those armpits squared to the mat. And then stepping forward with your left leg into lizard. Releasing that right knee down to the mat. And coming into a twisted lizard. Looking over that left shoulder. And then making your way back center. Stepping back into your dog. Lifting that right leg into three-legged dog and stepping forward into an extended side angle pose. So aligning your front heel with your back arch. You could use a block if you wanted to. Place that hand on your block and then lift that left arm up towards the sky. Keeping that front knee aligned right above your ankle. And then if you wanted to reach forward with that left arm, keeping that armpit over your ear. And then release. Stepping back into your dog. Lifting that left leg into three-legged dog as long as it feels okay. Stepping forward with that left foot into an extended side angle on the opposite side. So aligning that front heel to your back arch. Using your block if you wanted to, and lifting that right arm up towards the sky. If you wanted to reach forward with that right arm, as long as your range of motion feels okay here. And then releasing down and stepping back into your dog. Lifting your right leg up into three-legged dog. And stepping forward into forward fold with the right and then the left. Reaching behind your thighs, grabbing onto either your forearms or your elbows and releasing your head down. And then interlacing your fingers and lifting your arms up behind your back. And then coming all the way up into a little back bend, opening your heart forward and up. And then releasing those arms down to your sides in mountain pose. We're going to come into dancer pose, also known in Sanskrit as Nataraja Asana. So bending that knee and grabbing onto the inside of your foot as you reach forward, palm facing up. If you wanted to go deeper into the pose, it's a lot of balance here. You could always lower down. You could lower your hand down to your block. It was too windy for my block today. And then release. Coming into a relaxed forward fold. Taking a deep inhale as you come up, bringing those palms together overhead, and exhale, palms down to heart center. And releasing those arms to the sides. Coming into dancer pose on the opposite side. So trying to find that balance first by focusing straight ahead at a certain spot. Always doing what you can do in your pose. This pose strengthens those thighs, shoulders, arms, and core muscles. Always come back to your breath to find your calmness in an uncomfortable position. Challenging yourself a little bit more each time. Releasing out of your dancer pose and coming into a relaxed forward fold with those knees bent. Inhale, raising your arms overhead, palms together, and coming into a little back bend here. And exhale, bringing those palms down to heart center. Releasing your hands down to your hips. We're going to come into tree pose. So depending on how your balance feels today, you could place that foot against your ankle or place that foot up against your thigh. Finding that focal point, bringing those palms together at heart center. You could raise them overhead and then bring them out to the sides. Rooting down with that left foot and extending through that spine. Now release down from your tray. Giving a little shake in your legs, and we're going to switch sides. So doing exactly what you did on the opposite side, on this side. So finding your balance. Finding that focal point straight ahead. And making your way into your tray. This pose improves your posture, and it also strengthens your thigh, glute, and ankle that you're balancing on. Releasing out of your tray. Giving your legs a little shake. Taking a deep inhale, raising your arms overhead, palms together. Exhale, bringing them down to heart center. Making your way into a squat pose, also known as malasana in Sanskrit. Feet are a little wider than shoulder width, toes out to the sides, and bringing those elbows against those inner thighs, palms together at heart center. This opens and strengthens the hips and pelvis. It also creates space in your back. Releasing down, stepping back with that right leg and then the left into a high plank. Coming back into your down dog. Then releasing those knees down to the mat. And sitting back into child's pose. Releasing your forehead down to the mat. We're going to come into deer pose, so bringing that right leg forward at a 90-degree angle and the left back leg at a 90-degree angle. You could use your block here as you come forward, opening your heart forward and releasing your forehead down to the block or your forearms. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. Acknowledging how you're feeling from your practice today. And then making your way back up, coming back into a child's pose. And then coming into deer on the opposite side. So having that 90-degree bend in your front leg and the back leg, and releasing down. Making sure that left foot is flexed to protect the knee. And then making your way back to child's pose. Releasing your forehead down to the mat. Bringing those arms along your legs. Softening your breath. And relaxing those facial muscles.